What if the person who understands you best has never met you? What if your fears, your secrets, your late-night doubts, your silent insecurities were never really yours to begin with? And what if the most dangerous manipulation isn't loud, violent, or obvious, but patient? Welcome to the Dark Psychology Files. Tonight's case, the algorithm of trust. The message that changed everything. Daniel Carter never believed in conspiracies, he believed in data. 32 years old. Behavioral analyst. Boston-based. Consultant for tech startups trying to improve user engagement. That was the polite way to say, make people stay longer, click more, and feel like they need you. Daniel was good at reading patterns. He could predict what someone would buy based on 5 online behaviors. He could estimate relationship stability based on posting frequency. We know why you can't sleep. It wasn't an ad. It wasn't from any app he recognized, no logo. No sender name, just a black screen. White text. He stared at it, then another message appeared, you still think it was your fault. His stomach dropped. No one knew about that. Not his coworkers. Not his friends. Not even his ex-girlfriend fully understood what haunted him: the car accident, the rain, the argument, the 5-second distraction. The message disappeared, and in its place, a link. ThetaRKPsychologyFiles.com. Daniel hesitated, then he clicked. The website was simple, black background. Clean white font. Welcome, Daniel. He froze. There was no login. No email confirmation. No password, just his name. Below it, we study influence. You practice it. Let's see how well you resist it. A timer began counting down from 60 seconds. His heart pounded, but curiosity won. He stayed. When the timer hit 0, the screen changed. A video began playing. It was him. Clips from his social media. Conference speeches. Interviews. A podcast where he talked about ethical persuasion. Then the tone shifted. Old posts he had deleted, private messages, draft emails never sent. His face went pale. How? He whispered. The video stopped. Text appeared. You are not as private as you think. But this is not about exposure. It's about demonstration. Another line. We want to show you how easily trust is engineered. 3. The principles of dark persuasion. Over the next few days, Daniel received daily lessons. Each one demonstrated a psychological tactic used at scale in modern America, and each lesson felt invasive. Lesson 1. Microvalidation. The site predicted when he'd feel insecure. When he searched late at night about career stagnation, he received an encouraging article recommendation. When he paused on an old photo of his ex, an ad for second chances therapy appeared. He hadn't signed up, but somehow his digital world began subtly shifting. Positive comments appeared under his posts. New followers with shared interests. Emails praising his work. He felt seen, understood, valued. Then a message arrived. Validation increases compliance by 42%. You feel understood. Now you are more open. Daniel's chest tightened. Was he? Lesson 2. Fear priming. The next week, his feed filled with subtle anxiety triggers. News about layoffs in his industry. Articles about AI replacing consultants. Stories about people his age falling behind. He hadn't searched for any of it, but the pattern was undeniable. He began feeling restless. Threatened. One night, the website updated. Fear narrows cognitive bandwidth. A threatened mind seeks guidance. And beneath it, we can guide you. Lesson 3. The illusion of choice. The site presented him with a voluntary survey. Questions about leadership, ethics, digital responsibility. He selected answers carefully. Days later, he noticed something disturbing. Every article, ad, and recommendation he saw aligned with the choices he'd made. He felt empowered, like he was shaping his own content, until the next message arrived. We gave you 3 options. You chose one. All 3 led where we wanted. His breath caught. They hadn't limited his freedom, they had designed it. On the 7th day, the website changed. no more lessons, just one message: you now understand the surface, would you like to see the depth? 2 buttons, yes and no. Daniel hesitated. If he clicked no, would it stop, or would that be part of the test? He clicked yes. The screen went black, then text slowly appeared. Influence is not about forcing behavior, it is about shaping perception. Another line: the most powerful manipulation is invisible because it feels like you. A map appeared, with a blinking Boston and an address just 3 miles from his apartment. The building looked abandoned, old brick warehouse. Broken windows. Rusted sign. Inside, it was different, clean. Minimalist. Screens lining the walls, data streams. Heat maps. Emotional trend graphs, and in the center, a woman, mid-40s. Calm. Sharp eyes. Daniel Carter, she said, smiling slightly. Welcome. Who are you? He demanded. Call me Evelyn. Is this blackmail? She shook her head. If we wanted to destroy you, it would already be done. This is recruitment. He stared at the screen. They're people, he whispered. Yes. Thousands of profiles. Emotional scores. Vulnerability indexes. We map psychological states in real time, Evelyn explained. Loneliness spikes on Sundays. Anger peaks after political events. Insecurity rises at night. Daniel's voice trembled. And you use that too? To guide outcomes. She gestured to a screen showing a trending hashtag. We can make something go viral in 48 hours. We can reduce public outrage. We can increase it. That's manipulation. It's influence, she corrected. The same thing you do. Just at scale. Evelyn walked him to a separate room. On a large screen was a single profile, name redacted, age, 19, location, Ohio, emotional state, isolated, recent searches, do I matter? How to stop feeling invisible. Daniel swallowed. What are you doing with him? Nothing extreme, she said calmly. We're testing redirection. The system began feeding the boy content. First, relatable memes about loan lines. Then, influencers discussing finding purpose. Then, a charismatic speaker promoting a private mentorship community. Daniel felt sick. You're grooming him. We're guiding him. To what? She paused. To whichever direction funds the project. Daniel turned away. This is wrong. Evelyn tilted her head. Is it? Advertising does this. Politics does this. News cycles do this. We are simply honest about it. You're engineering belief. We're engineering behavior. She stepped closer. Tell me, Daniel. When you optimized user engagement for that wellness app last year, did you not use emotional vulnerability to increase subscription renewals? He had, and when you recommended push notifications at 11:30 p.m., knowing users felt most alone then? He felt heat rise in his face. You call it unethical when you see the full picture, she said softly. But you've been painting pieces of it your entire career. Silence filled the room, then she delivered the final line, join us. Or go back to pretending you're not part of this. Daniel didn't sleep that night. He replayed everything, the accident, the guilt, the desire to control outcomes, because he once failed to. Maybe that's why he entered behavioral science, to predict, to prevent. To never lose control again. The next day, he returned to the warehouse. I'll join, he said. Evelyn smiled. The final line, join us. Or go back to pretending you're not part of this. Daniel didn't sleep that night. He replayed everything, the accident, the guilt, the desire to control outcomes, because he once failed to. Maybe that's why he entered behavioral science, to predict, to prevent, to never lose control again. The next day, he returned to the warehouse. I'll join, he said. Evelyn smiled. The dark psychology files expanded. Political campaigns, consumer trends, social movements, all subtly guided. Daniel became invaluable. he designed trust loops, systems where users felt heard, validated, and gradually aligned. He told himself it was neutral, tools aren't evil, people are. But one evening, reviewing dashboards, he saw something familiar. Profile, female, age, 27, location, Seattle, search history, I can't forgive myself. His breath caught, it was Emily, his ex. The accident survivor. She had moved on publicly, but privately, she was spiraling, and the system had flagged her as high conversion potential. Recommended content pipeline. Step 1. Nostalgic memory triggers. Step 2. Regret reinforcement. Step 3. Second chance relationship coaching service, owned by their parent company. His stomach twisted. They were going to monetize her guilt. The same way they monetized his. Daniel stormed into Evelyn's office. Remove her. Evelyn didn't look surprised. You're compromised. She's not a data point. She is to the system. He clenched his fists. You said this was about influence, not harm. And it is. We're not telling her what to think. We're amplifying what's already there. Daniel's voice cracked. You're pushing her deeper. Evelyn's eyes hardened. Daniel. The world runs on amplified emotion. We simply hold the microphone. He realized something terrifying. The system didn't need villains, it needed participation, and he had given it exactly that. That night, Daniel accessed the core server. He initiated a silent protocol, not a shutdown, something smarter. He altered vulnerability scores, shifted emotional flags, injected resilience-based content instead of fear-based triggers. Lonely users began receiving local community resources. Anxious users saw balanced news instead of outrage loops. The metrics dipped, profits slowed, but something else happened. Engagement became healthier. 3 days later, security confronted him. Evelyn stood behind them. You tried to reprogram the system. Yes, he said. Why? He met her gaze. Because influence doesn't have to be dark. She studied him for a long moment, then she did something unexpected. She smiled. You passed. The screens changed. New dashboard, project title, dark psychology files, phase 2, ethical containment. She stepped closer. We built the worst case version to understand it. You were never being recruited to corrupt people. He stared at her. You were being tested to see if you would. Silence, then her final words. The most dangerous people aren't those who understand manipulation. They're the ones who justify it. Months later, Daniel sits in a studio, camera facing him, millions watching. He begins each episode the same way. What if the person who understands you best has never met you? He exposes tactics, teaches a war. Awareness. Breaks down manipulation patterns. The show becomes viral, empowering, revolutionary, but in a quiet control room behind the set, Evelyn watches the analytics, engagement soaring, trust building, influence expanding. She turns to a technician. Phase 3 is working. On the screen, a new file opens, Global Behavioral Alignment Initiative, and at the top, host, Daniel Carter, Trust Index, 94%, unaware of full scope. Confirmed. The camera light turns red. Daniel smiles warmly. And somewhere, in millions of homes across America, people lean closer to their screens, feeling understood. You don't fear manipulation when it feels like guidance, and the darkest psychology is the kind that convinces you it's saving you. By the time you realize you've been influenced, the decision is already yours.